Let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and said to yourself, I can't do this? Have you ever walked into a room and thought, they're all better than me? Have you ever opened your mouth to speak English and heard a voice inside whisper, you're going to embarrass yourself? I have. And I'm going to tell you about the worst day of my English learning journey. I was in a meeting. An important meeting. And I had to speak. I opened my mouth and nothing. Blank. My mind went completely blank. And you know what the worst part was? It wasn't that I didn't know the words. I knew them. The problem was the voice in my head. The voice that kept saying, you're going to mess this up. You always mess this up. Everyone's going to laugh at you. And that voice? It won. Has that ever happened to you? Well, today we're going to learn how to change that voice. Because I discovered something powerful. The way you talk to yourself decides whether you succeed or freeze. And by the end of this episode, this 90-minute journey we're about to take together, you're going to know exactly how to make that voice work for you instead of against you. Welcome to Aural English. Let's begin. So from today, this channel, this community, this journey, it is not just about memorizing words. It is about building a life. We will teach you English through stories that stay with you. Through lessons that change how you think. Through moments that make you feel, yes, I learned something real today. Something that matters. Today, you're going to hear stories about a man who lived in a tent and became one of the richest actors in Hollywood. A woman who was told she'd never amount to anything and became a billionaire. Or a boxer who declared himself the greatest before anyone else believed it. The scientist who failed thousands of times and changed the world. And many, many more. Each story will teach you something about the law of attraction. About self-talk. About the power of words. And each story will be told in beautiful, clear, powerful English, so that by the end, you won't just understand the law of attraction. You'll have practiced it. In English. Welcome to Aural English. This is your home now. Let's dive in. Part 1. The story that changes everything. Jim Carrey. Let me tell you a story. It's a true story. And it happened to one of the most successful actors in the world. His name, Jim Carrey. Now before Jim Carrey was Jim Carrey, before the movies, before the fame, before the money, he was just a young man. A teenager, actually. Living in poverty. His family had almost nothing. They were so poor that at one point, they lived in a van. Then later, in a tent. On the side of a road. A tent. Can you imagine that? You are 15 years old. You have no home. You have no money. The world does not see you. The world does not care about you. Most people in that situation, they give up. They say, this is my life. This is all I will ever be. But Jim Carrey did not say that. Instead, he did something very, very simple. He talked to himself. Every single day, he would say these words to himself. I have $10 million. I have $10 million. I have $10 million. He said it when he woke up. He said it when he walked. He said it when he looked in the mirror. But Jim Carrey did something else too. Something even more powerful. He wrote himself a check. Yes. A real check. He took a piece of paper and he wrote, pay to Jim Carrey, $10 million, for acting services rendered. He dated it Thanksgiving 1995. This was in 1987. He gave himself 8 years. And he kept that check in his wallet. Every single day. He would look at it. Touch it. Feel it. He would imagine the day when that check became real. People thought he was crazy. His family thought he was dreaming. But Jim Carrey believed it. He did not just say the words, he felt them. He imagined the money. He imagined the life. He imagined himself as a successful man. And you know what happened? In 1994, just before Thanksgiving 1995, Jim Carrey was offered a role in the movie Dumb and Dumber. The pay? $10 million. Exactly what he had written on that check 8 years earlier. He became one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood history. He manifested his reality. Through self-talk. Through the law of attraction. Through believing, when nobody else did. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's Jim Carrey. That's a movie star. That's not my life. And I understand that feeling. I do. But here's what I want you to understand, and I want you to really listen to this. Jim Carrey did not start famous. He started exactly where you are right now. With nothing but words. Words he spoke to himself. And those words? They became his world. So the question is not, can this work for me? The question is, am I willing to try? Because today, we are not just learning English. Today we are learning how to talk to ourselves, in English, in a way that changes our life. And we are going to do it together. Right here. Right now. Are you ready? Good. Let's go. Part 2. What is the law of attraction? Okay. So before we start talking to ourselves, we need to understand why it works. And for that, we need to understand something called the law of attraction. Now, don't let the name scare you. It's not magic. It's not hocus pocus. It is actually backed by science. By psychology. By neuroscience. So let me break it down for you, simply. What is the law of attraction? The law of attraction is a principle, a rule of life, that says this. Whatever you think about most, whatever you feel most strongly about, that is what you attract into your life. Simple, right? Think positive, attract positive. Think negative, attract negative. Your thoughts are like a magnet. And whatever energy your thoughts create, the universe sends back to you. Now let me give you an example. Imagine two people. Person A and Person B. Person A wakes up every morning and thinks, I am not good enough. I will never succeed. Nobody likes me. I am a failure. Person B wakes up every morning and thinks, I am capable. I am growing. Good things are coming to me. I deserve success. Now, after 1 year, who do you think is in a better position in life? Person B. Without a doubt. And why? Not because the universe is rewarding Person B like a parent gives candy to a good child. No. It's because of how the brain works. The science behind it. You see, your brain has something called the reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of it as a filter. Like Google. Your brain is constantly receiving information, thousands and thousands of pieces of information every single second. But it cannot process all of it. So it filters. And what does it filter in? What does it keep? Whatever you are already focused on. So if you constantly think, I am bad at English, your brain will notice every single moment where you make a mistake. It will ignore the moments where you succeed. Because that's what you told it to look for. But if you constantly think, I am getting better at English every day, your brain starts noticing the progress. It starts seeing opportunities. It starts finding ways to improve. This is called neuroplasticity, and it means your brain physically changes based on what you think repeatedly. So when you talk to yourself in a positive way, again and again, you are literally rewiring your brain. That is not magic. That is biology. Why do we need this? Great question. And the answer is simple. Most of us, and I mean most, have a habit of negative self-talk. We don't even realize it. You wake up and something goes wrong, and automatically your brain says, of course. I knew it. Nothing ever works for me. You make a mistake in English, and your brain says, see? You're stupid. You'll never be fluent. You see someone successful, and your brain whispers, that could never be you. This negative self-talk? It is destroying your potential. Slowly. Silently. Every single day. The law of attraction teaches us how to stop that cycle. And replace it with something powerful. Replace it with positive self-talk. And when you do that, when you truly, consistently, daily talk to yourself in a positive way, your life starts to shift. Not tomorrow. Not next year. It starts now. How does it affect your life? Let me be very clear about this. The law of attraction does not mean you sit on your couch and wish for things. No. It means you align your mind with what you want, and then you act. When your mind believes something is possible, you become braver. You take risks. You see opportunities that you never saw before. You work harder, not because someone forced you, but because you believe in what you're doing. Studies show that people who practice positive self-talk are more likely to achieve their goals. They are more confident. They handle stress better. They are healthier, mentally and physically. So the law of attraction is not about wishing. It is about becoming. And it all starts with the words you say to yourself. Now, here is where you come in. Because from this point forward, we are not just talking about self-talk. We are going to practice it. Through stories. Stories of real people who used these exact principles to transform their lives. Are you ready to meet them? Good. Let's begin. Part 3. The story of Oprah Winfrey. Let me tell you about a woman who should have failed. By every measure. By every statistic. By every prediction. She should have failed. Her name, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was born in rural Mississippi in 1954. She was born into poverty so deep that she wore dresses made from potato sacks. Potato sacks. Not fabric. Not clothes. Potato sacks. She was raised by her grandmother for the first 6 years of her life. And then she was sent to live with her mother in Milwaukee. And this is where the story gets dark. From the age of 9 to 14, Oprah was sexually abused. By her cousin. By her uncle. By a family friend. At 14 years old, she became pregnant. She gave birth to a baby boy. He died 2 weeks later. Can you imagine carrying that pain? At 14 years old? Most people would break. Most people would give up. Most people would say, the world has hurt me too much. I cannot go on. But Oprah did not say that. Instead, she went to live with her father in Nashville. And her father, Vernon Winfrey, he gave her something she had never had before. Structure. Discipline. And most importantly, belief. He told her, you are smart. You are capable. You are going to make something of yourself. And Oprah, she listened. She started talking to herself differently. Every morning, she would stand in front of the mirror, just like Jim Carrey did, and she would say affirmations. Positive statements about herself. About her future. About what she deserved. She would say, I am intelligent. I am worthy of love. I am going to be successful. I deserve good things. And she didn't just say these words, she felt them. She believed them. Even when the world told her otherwise. The turning point. Oprah got a scholarship to Tennessee State University. She studied communication. And while she was in college, she got a job at a local radio station. Then, at 19 years old, she became the youngest news anchor, and the first black female news anchor in Nashville. But even then, people doubted her. They said, you're too emotional. You get too involved in the stories. You'll never make it. And Oprah? She could have believed them. She could have said, they're right. I'm not good enough. But instead, she said to herself, my emotion is my strength. My empathy is my gift. I will find a way to use it. And she did. In 1984, she moved to Chicago to host a morning talk show called AM Chicago. The show was struggling. It was in last place in the ratings. But within 3 months, Oprah turned it into the #1 talk show in Chicago. Why? Because she talked to people differently. She connected with them. She made them feel seen, heard, valued. And she did it because she had done that work on herself first. She had learned to see herself, to hear herself, to value herself. The birth of an empire. In 1986, AM Chicago was renamed. It became the Oprah Winfrey Show. And it became the highest-rated talk show in American television history. For 25 years, Oprah was on the air. She interviewed presidents. She interviewed celebrities. She interviewed ordinary people with extraordinary stories. And through it all, she kept using the law of attraction. She kept talking to herself in positive, present-tense affirmations. She kept believing that good things were coming to her. And they did. Oprah became a billionaire. The first black female billionaire in history. She built a media empire. She started a magazine. She launched a television network. She became one of the most influential people in the world. But more than that, she helped millions of people. Through her show, she taught people about self-love, about healing, about the power of their own thoughts. And Oprah once said something that I want you to remember. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. Read that again. You become what you believe. Not what others believe about you. Not what the world says about you. What you believe about yourself. The lesson. So what can we learn from Oprah's story? We learn that your past does not define your future. We learn that the words you speak to yourself are more powerful than the words anyone else speaks to you. We learn that even when the world tries to break you, you can rebuild yourself. One thought at a time. One affirmation at a time. One day at a time. Oprah used present tense self-talk. I am intelligent. I am worthy. I am successful. Not I will be. Not I hope to be. I am. Right now. In this moment. And that is the power of the law of attraction. Part 4. The story of Muhammad Ali. Now let me tell you about a man who declared himself the greatest before anyone else believed it. His name, Muhammad Ali. But he wasn't always Muhammad Ali. He was born Cassius Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, in 1942. And when he was 12 years old, something happened that changed his life forever. His bicycle was stolen. A 12-year-old boy. His bicycle stolen. And he was angry. So angry that he went to a police officer and said, I'm going to find whoever stole my bike, and I'm going to whoop them. The police officer, his name was Joe Martin, looked at this skinny kid and said, well, you better learn how to fight first. And that's exactly what Cassius Clay did. He started boxing. And he was good. Really good. By the time he was 18, he had won a gold medal at the 1960 Olympics in Rome. But even then, even as an Olympic champion, he faced racism. He faced discrimination. He came back to America and was refused service at a restaurant because of the color of his skin. Can you imagine that? An Olympic champion. A gold medalist. And he couldn't even eat at a restaurant in his own country. Most people would be bitter, angry, defeated. But Cassius Clay did something different. He decided to become so great that the world could not ignore him. I am the greatest. And this is where the self-talk begins. Before he was famous. Before he was a world champion. Before he had won a single professional title. Cassius Clay would say, over and over and over again, I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. He would say it to reporters. He would say it to other boxers. He would say it to himself in the mirror. People thought he was arrogant, cocky, delusional. They said, who does this kid think he is? He hasn't proven anything yet. But here's the thing, Cassius Clay knew something that most people don't. He knew that if you say something enough times, if you believe it deeply enough, your brain starts to make it true. This is the law of attraction in action. The fight against Sonny Liston. In 1964, Cassius Clay got his first shot at the heavyweight championship. His opponent? Sonny Liston. Now, Sonny Liston was terrifying. He was a brutal fighter. A knockout artist. Everyone was afraid of him. The odds were 7-1 against Cassius Clay. Nobody gave him a chance. But Cassius Clay? He didn't care about the odds. At the weigh-in, the day before the fight, he started screaming, "I'm going to destroy you. I'm the greatest. You can't beat me. I am the greatest of all time." People thought he had lost his mind. But Cassius Clay knew exactly what he was doing. He was using self-talk. He was programming his brain for victory. He was creating belief. And the next day, February 25, 1964, Cassius Clay shocked the world. He defeated Sonny Liston. He became the heavyweight champion of the world. And immediately after the fight, he screamed to the reporters, "I shook up the world. I am the greatest. I told you I was the greatest." Becoming Muhammad Ali. Shortly after that fight, Cassius Clay converted to Islam and changed his name to Muhammad Ali. And for the next 20 years, he dominated boxing. He fought some of the greatest boxers in history, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Ken Norton, and he beat them all. But more than that, he changed the world. He refused to fight in the Vietnam War because of his religious beliefs. And because of that, he was stripped of his title. He was banned from boxing for 3 years. He faced prison time. Most people would have given up, would have compromised, would have said, "It's not worth it." But Muhammad Ali did not give up. He kept saying to himself, "I am the greatest. I stand for what I believe. I will not be broken." And he wasn't. He came back to boxing in 1970. And in 1974, at age 32, when everyone said he was too old, too slow, too washed up, he fought George Foreman in Zaire, Africa. The fight was called the Rumble in the Jungle. And once again, Muhammad Ali was the underdog. But once again he won. He knocked out George Foreman in the 8th round. And he proved, once and for all, that he was the greatest. The lesson. So what do we learn from Muhammad Ali? We learn that self-talk is not arrogance. It is preparation. When Muhammad Ali said, "I am the greatest," he wasn't lying. He wasn't being fake. He was planting a seed in his mind. And he watered that seed every single day with his words, his training, his belief. And eventually, that seed grew into reality. Muhammad Ali used present tense affirmations. I am the greatest. I am strong. I am unbeatable. Not I will be. Not I hope to be. I am. Right now. And that belief, that unshakable, powerful belief, is what made him unstoppable. Part 5. The Story of Thomas Edison. Now let me tell you about a man who failed more than almost anyone in history, and became one of the greatest inventors the world has ever known. His name, Thomas Edison. You probably know Thomas Edison as the man who invented the light bulb. But do you know how many times he failed before he succeeded? 1,000 times. That's right. 1,000 attempts. 1,000 failures. Can you imagine that? You try something. It doesn't work. You try again. It doesn't work. You try again. 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 999 times, it doesn't work. Most people would quit after 10 tries. Maybe 20. Maybe 50 if they're really determined. But 1,000? Most people would say, this is impossible. I'm wasting my time. I'm a failure. But Thomas Edison did not say that. The power of reframing. You see, Thomas Edison understood something profound about the law of attraction. He understood that it's not just about what you say to yourself, it's about how you interpret what happens to you. When reporters asked him, how does it feel to fail 1,000 times? He said, I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work. Read that again. I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work. This is self-talk at its finest. He didn't say, I am a failure. He said, I am learning. He didn't say, this is impossible. He said, I am getting closer. He didn't say, I should give up. He said, I am discovering what works. And that reframing, that is what kept him going. The early years. Thomas Edison was not born a genius. In fact, when he was a child, his teachers thought he was stupid. He only attended school for a few months. His teacher told his mother, your son is too difficult to teach. He asks too many questions. He's confused. He'll never amount to anything. His mother pulled him out of school and taught him at home. But even then, people doubted him. When Edison got his first job, working as a telegraph operator, he was fired. Why? Because he was conducting experiments instead of doing his work. He was obsessed with invention, with creation, with discovery. And people told him, you're wasting your time. Stop dreaming. Get a real job. But Edison didn't listen to them. He listened to himself. And he said to himself, I am an inventor. I am curious. I will discover things the world has never seen. The Invention Factory. In 1876, Edison opened his laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. He called it an invention factory. And he set a goal for himself. He wanted to produce a new invention every 10 days. Can you imagine that? A new invention every 10 days. Most people can't come up with one good idea in a year. But Edison? He was relentless. He invented the phonograph, the first device that could record and play back sound. He invented the motion picture camera, the foundation of modern cinema. He improved the telephone, the telegraph, the battery. But his greatest invention, the one that changed the world, was the electric light bulb. The light bulb. Now, Edison did not invent the light bulb from scratch. Other inventors had created early versions. But they didn't work well. They burned out too quickly. They were too expensive. They were impractical. Edison's goal was to create a light bulb that could last for hours. That could be mass-produced. That ordinary people could afford. And so he started experimenting. He tested thousands of materials for the filament, the part of the bulb that glows. He tried platinum. It didn't work. He tried carbon. It didn't work. He tried bamboo, cotton thread, fishing line, human hair. 1,000 different materials. 1,000 failures. But with each failure, he learned something. He would say to his assistants, we are making progress. We are eliminating what doesn't work. We are getting closer to the answer. This is the law of attraction. He was not focusing on the failures. He was focusing on the progress. And finally, on October 21, 1879, after testing a carbonized bamboo filament, the light bulb worked. It burned for more than 13 hours. Thomas Edison had done it. He had created the first practical, long-lasting electric light bulb. The legacy. By the time Thomas Edison died in 1931, he held 1,093 patents. 1,093 inventions. He changed the world. But more than that, he showed the world what is possible when you refuse to give up. When you talk to yourself with resilience. With determination. With belief. Edison once said, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Just one more time. That's all it takes. One more try. One more affirmation. One more day of believing in yourself. The lesson. So what do we learn from Thomas Edison? We learn that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. We learn that the way you talk to yourself about failure determines whether you quit or keep going. Edison did not say, I am a failure. He said, I am learning. He did not say, this is impossible. He said, I am discovering. And that self-talk, that positive present tense reframing, is what allowed him to achieve the impossible. Part 6, The Story of J.K. Rowling. Now let me tell you about a woman who was rejected over and over again. and became one of the most successful authors in history. Her name, J.K. Rowling. You know her as the author of Harry Potter. But before Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling was broke, depressed, a single mother living on welfare. Let me tell you her story. The darkest time. In 1990, J.K. Rowling was on a train from Manchester to London. The train was delayed for 4 hours. And during that delay, she had an idea. An idea about a young boy. A boy who didn't know he was a wizard. A boy who would go to a magical school called Hogwarts. That boy was Harry Potter. Rowling was so excited about this idea that the moment she got home, she started writing. But life was not easy. In 1993, her mother died of multiple sclerosis. Rowling was devastated. She had been very close to her mother. And her mother's death left a hole in her life that never fully healed. Then, in 1993, Rowling's marriage fell apart. She moved to Edinburgh, Scotland, with her infant daughter, Jessica. She had no job, no money, no support. She was living on welfare, the British government assistance program for people in poverty. She later described this time as the darkest period of her life. She was clinically depressed. She even considered suicide. She felt like a failure. But she had one thing left. Harry Potter. Writing in cafes. Every day, Rowling would take her baby daughter to a cafe in Edinburgh. She would order a single cup of coffee, because that's all she could afford. And while her daughter slept, she would write. She wrote the entire first Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, in that cafe. On a manual typewriter. 1 page at a time. And as she wrote, she talked to herself. She said, I am a writer. Not, I want to be a writer. Not, I hope to be a writer. I am a writer. She said, this story matters. This story is good. This story will be published. Even when she had no evidence. Even when she had no reason to believe it. She believed it anyway. 12 rejections. In 1995, Rowling finished the manuscript for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. She was so excited. She thought, this is it. This is my chance. She sent the manuscript to publishers in London. And the first publisher rejected it. Not interested. So she sent it to another publisher. Rejected. Another. Rejected. Another. Rejected. 12 times. 12 different publishers. 12 rejections. They said things like, too long for children. Not commercial enough. Nobody wants to read about wizards. Can you imagine that? You pour your heart into something. You believe in it with everything you have. And 12 people tell you no, this isn't good enough. Most people would quit. Most people would say, they're right. I'm delusional. This will never work. But J.K. Rowling did not quit. She kept saying to herself, I am a writer. This story is good. Someone will see it. And she kept trying. The 13th publisher. Finally, a small publishing house called Bloomsbury agreed to publish the book. But even then, they weren't confident. They told Rowling, you probably won't make much money from children's books. You should get a day job. They printed only 1,000 copies of the first edition. 1,000. That's it. But something magical happened. Kids started reading the book. And they loved it. They told their friends. Their friends told their friends. Word spread. And within a few months, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone became a bestseller. Then Rowling wrote the second book. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Bestseller. Then the third. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Bestseller. By the time she finished the 7th book, Harry Potter had become the best-selling book series in history. Over 500 million copies sold. Translated into 80 languages. Made into 8 movies. J.K. Rowling went from living on welfare to becoming the first author billionaire in history. The lesson. So what do we learn from J.K. Rowling? We learn that rejection is not the end. Rejection is just information. It tells you who is not ready to see your value. It does not tell you that you have no value. We learn that even in the darkest moments, when you are broke, alone, depressed, you can still believe in yourself. You can still say, I am a writer. I am capable. I am worthy of success. And we learn that the law of attraction requires patience. J.K. Rowling did not become successful overnight. It took years. Years of writing. Years of rejection. Years of self-talk. But she never stopped believing. And that belief, that unwavering persistent belief, is what carried her through. Part 7. The story of Walt Disney. Now let me tell you about a man who was told he had no imagination, and went on to create the most imaginative company in the world. His name, Walt Disney. Fired for lack of imagination. In 1919, Walt Disney was working as a newspaper artist for the Kansas City Star. He was 21 years old. Young. Ambitious. Full of ideas. But one day, his editor called him into the office. And the editor said, Walt, you're fired. You lack imagination and have no good ideas. Can you imagine that? Being told by your boss that you have no imagination. For most people, that would be crushing. That would be the end of the dream. But for Walt Disney, it was just the beginning. The first animation studio. After being fired, Walt Disney decided to start his own animation studio. He called it Laugh-O-Gram Studio. He poured all his time, energy, and money into it. He created short animated films. They were funny, creative, original. But nobody wanted to buy them. The studio failed. Walt Disney went bankrupt. He was so poor that he had to eat dog food to survive. Dog food. Can you imagine that? A young man with dreams. With talent. Eating dog food because he can't afford anything else. Most people would give up. Most people would say, I tried. It didn't work. Time to do something else. But Walt Disney did not give up. He moved to Hollywood with $40 in his pocket. $40. That's all he had. But he had something more valuable than money. He had belief. Creating Mickey Mouse. In Hollywood, Walt Disney started a new animation company with his brother Roy. They called it Disney Brothers Studio. And Walt had an idea for a new character. A mouse. A cheerful, optimistic, adventurous mouse. He named him Mickey Mouse. And on November 18, 1928, Mickey Mouse appeared in the first synchronized sound cartoon, Steamboat Willie. It was a sensation. People loved Mickey Mouse. Kids loved him. Adults loved him. Everyone loved him. And Walt Disney's career, which had nearly ended multiple times, was reborn. But even then, the challenges didn't stop. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In 1934, Walt Disney had another idea. He wanted to make the first full-length animated film. Nobody had ever done this before. People told him he was crazy. They called the project Disney's Folly. They said, nobody will sit through a 90-minute cartoon. You're going to lose everything. But Walt Disney didn't listen. He believed in his vision. He spent 3 years creating Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He mortgaged his house. He borrowed money. He risked everything. And during those 3 years, he talked to himself. He said, this will work. This will be beautiful. This will change animation forever. And on December 21, 1937, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered. It was the highest-grossing film of all time up to that point. It won an honorary Academy Award. It changed the animation industry forever. Walt Disney had done it again. Building Disneyland. But Walt Disney wasn't finished. In the 1950s, he had another impossible idea. He wanted to build an amusement park. But not just any amusement park. A magical place where families could escape reality. Where children could meet their favorite characters. Where imagination came to life. He called it Disneyland. And once again, people told him he was crazy. Banks refused to lend him money. Investors said, amusement parks are dirty, cheap, and dangerous. This will never work. But Walt Disney believed. He sold his vacation home to help fund the project. He convinced a television network to invest. And on July 17, 1955, Disneyland opened in Anaheim, California. On opening day, everything went wrong. The asphalt was still wet. Rides broke down. There weren't enough drinking fountains. The press called it Black Sunday. But Walt Disney stayed calm. He said, Disneyland will never be completed. It will continue to grow as long as there is imagination left in the world. And he was right. Today, Disneyland is one of the most visited places on Earth. The Walt Disney Company is worth over $200 billion. And Walt Disney's legacy, his characters, his films, his parks, they have touched billions of people around the world. The lesson. So what do we learn from Walt Disney? We learn that other people's opinions do not define your potential. Walt Disney was told he had no imagination. And he went on to create the most imaginative company in history. We learn that failure is not final. Walt Disney went bankrupt. He was fired. He was rejected. But he kept going. And we learn that belief in yourself, even when nobody else believes in you, is the most powerful force in the world. Walt Disney used affirmations. This will work. I am creating something beautiful. I believe in my vision. And that belief carried him through every failure, every rejection, every moment of doubt. Part 8, Present Tense Practice. Now, here is where you come in. Because from this point forward, we are not just hearing stories. We are going to practice self-talk. Together. Right now. And we're going to do it in English, which means by the end of this section, you will have practiced dozens of powerful English sentences. Sentences that not only improve your English, but improve your life. Are you ready to repeat with me? Good. Let's start. Why present tense? When we do self-talk, when we talk to ourselves using the law of attraction, the tense we use matters. A lot. And the most powerful tense is present tense. Why? Because when you say something in the present tense, your brain believes it is happening right now. Not in the future. Not someday. Now. And that is exactly what the law of attraction needs, belief in the present moment. So here is how it works. I will say a sentence. And then you, repeat it with me. Don't just listen. Say it. Out loud. Or whisper it. I don't care. But say it. Because the power is not in hearing the words. The power is in speaking them. Let's go. Sentence 1. I am capable. Say it with me. I am capable. Feel that? 2 words. I am. Present tense. Right now. You are capable. Not I will be. Not I hope I am. You are. Sentence 2. I am learning and growing every single day. Repeat. I am learning and growing every single day. Beautiful. Notice how this sentence is in the present continuous tense, I am learning. It means it's happening right now. Active. Alive. Moving forward. Sentence 3. I am worthy of success. Say it. I am worthy of success. Worthy. Remember this word. W-R-T-H-Y. It means you deserve it. You are not asking for something you don't deserve. You are claiming what is already yours. Sentence 4. I am confident in my abilities. Repeat. I am confident in my abilities. Confident. Abilities. 2 powerful words. Practice them. Say them again. I am confident. I have abilities. I am confident in my abilities. Sentence 5. Good things are coming to me. Say it with me. Good things are coming to me. Notice, are coming. Present continuous. It is already in motion. The good things are already on their way. You just need to believe it. Sentence 6. I attract positive energy into my life. Repeat. I attract positive energy into my life. Attract. This is the key word of the law of attraction. You are not waiting for good things. You are attracting them. Actively. Powerfully. Sentence 7. I am open to new opportunities. Say it. I am open to new opportunities. Open. Think about what this means physically. When you open your hands, you can receive. When you close them, nothing can come in. Your mind works the same way. Sentence 8. I believe in myself. Repeat. I believe in myself. Simple. Short. But devastating in its power. Say it one more time. I believe in myself. Sentence 9. I am enough. Say it. I am enough. Not I will be enough. Not I hope I'm enough. I am enough. Right now. In this moment. Just as you are. Sentence 10. I am grateful for everything I have. Repeat. I am grateful for everything I have. Gratitude. This is one of the most powerful emotions in the law of attraction. When you are grateful for what you have, the universe sends you more to be grateful for. Beautiful work. Now let's practice some more advanced sentences. Sentence 11. I am becoming the best version of myself. Say it. I am becoming the best version of myself. Becoming. This is present continuous. It's a process. It's happening right now. You are not waiting to become better. You are becoming better. Sentence 12. I deserve love, success, and happiness. Repeat. I deserve love, success, and happiness. Deserve. This word is so important. You are not asking for permission. You are stating a fact. You deserve these things. Sentence 13. I am stronger than my challenges. Say it. I am stronger than my challenges. Notice the comparison. Stronger than. You are not saying, I am strong. You are saying, I am stronger than my challenges. You are bigger than your problems. Sentence 14. I choose to see the good in every situation. Repeat. I choose to see the good in every situation. I choose. This is powerful. You are not a victim. You are making a choice. You have control. Sentence 15. I am surrounded by love and support. Say it. I am surrounded by love and support. Even if you feel alone right now, say this. Because when you believe it, you will start to notice the love and support that is already there. Excellent. Now, here's a quote I want you to remember. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right." Read that again. Think about it. If you think you can, you are right. You can. If you think you can't, you are also right. You can't. Your thoughts create your reality. Part 9. Past and future tense. Now let's talk briefly about past and future tense. Past tense, release the past. Sometimes, we need to acknowledge the past, to honor it, and then to let it go. Here's how we use past tense in self-talk. Sentence 16. I used to doubt myself, but now, I believe in my potential. Say it. I used to doubt myself, but now, I believe in my potential. Feel the shift? I used to past. Done. Finished. But now, present. This is who you are today. Sentence 17. In the past, I thought I was not good enough. Now I know I am more than enough. Repeat. In the past, I thought I was not good enough. Now I know I am more than enough. More than enough. Say this phrase again. I am more than enough. Future tense, set direction. Future tense is useful for setting goals, for pointing yourself in the right direction. But remember, we don't live in the future. We live now. Sentence 18. I am moving toward my dreams every single day. Say it. I am moving toward my dreams every single day. Notice, I did not say, I will move toward my dreams someday. I said, I am moving. Present tense. It is already happening. Sentence 19. My future is bright, and I am creating it. Repeat. My future is bright, and I am creating it. Creating. You are not waiting for your future. You are building it. The best method, present tense wins. So which tense is the best? Present tense. Always. Because present tense makes it real. Makes it now. Makes it believable. Closing, your daily ritual. So here is what I want you to do. Every single morning. For at least 30 days. Before you touch your phone. Before you check social media. Before you do anything. Say these 5 sentences. I am capable and I am strong. I am worthy of love and success. I am growing and improving every single day. I attract good things into my life. Today is going to be an amazing day. 5 sentences. 30 seconds. Every morning. That's it. That is the practice. And before we end, I want to give you one final gift. Your Aural English affirmation ritual. Every time you listen to this channel, every time you learn something new, close your eyes for just 10 seconds and say, I am learning. I am growing. I am becoming the person I was always meant to be. Say it with me one last time. I am learning. I am growing. I am becoming the person I was always meant to be. Maya Angelou once said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Your attitude is your self-talk. And you now have the power to change it. To every single person who listened today, who stayed until the end, who repeated those sentences, who felt something shift inside them. Thank you. You are not just learning English. You are learning how to build a life. And I will be right here, walking beside you, every step of the way. This is Aural English. And you are extraordinary. Until next time, take care of yourself.